In Mendel's monohybrid cross or first experiment, we learn that the ratio obtained in the plants is 3:1, where it is considered as phenotypic ratio, and genotypic ratio is 1:2:1, where one plant is tall, which is said to be homozygous, whereas two plants are also said to be tall, having heterozygous condition, whereas one plant is said to be short. Here, Mendel say about the first law of genetics, so that is called law of segregation. So law of segregation states that during gamete formation, the two alleles at a gene locus segregate from each other. Each gamete has an equal probability of containing either allele. And in the second experiment, Mendel tells this as dihybrid cross, where he chooses two characters. There he will get the ratio 9:3:3:1. Here in this experiment, he chooses two characters. Here is the checkerboard, which is giving us the details of the 4 types of plants we obtain, and he concludes after this experiment and tells about the law of independent assortment. The law of independent assortment says that the allele of a gamete received for one gene does not influence the allele received for another gene. Or it can be also said like this: the alleles of two or more different genes get sorted into gametes independently of one another. So today we know about how these characters are transferred from parents to the next generation. So this was experimentally proved in 19th century itself by the great scientist Gregor Johann Mendel. So at that time, so nobody were knowing the importance of his experiments, but today with the help of those experiments of Mendel, we confirm all these facts that so genes control all the characters of the organisms. So in pea plants, so the character like height of the plant, so that is the stem length is considered. See why some plants are tall and why some plants are dwarf? Because the growth hormones will be there in particular plant, means it will be having a good height. So if those growth hormones like auxins or gibberellins are not produced in sufficient quantity, means that plant becomes dwarf. See, what are these hormones? So these hormones are nothing but proteins. So for the production of those proteins, that is hormones, a particular genes will be present in the pea plants. So that was confirmed or proved by Gregor Johann Mendel. So in his monohybrid experiment and dihybrid experiments, we got the results. So the number of tall plants versus the short plants, the ratio obtained was 3:1 in monohybrid cross, whereas he considered two characters in the pea plants, so that is the round nature and wrinkled nature of the seed and green color and yellow color of the seed. So considering those two characters, we obtained 4 types of plants. So 9, 3, 3 and 1. So these were the 4 types of plants obtained where we got the ratio 9:3:1. So here the characters are said to be having 2 factors. So 2 contrasting factors. For example, length of the stem had a contrasting character, that is tall and dwarf. Here tallness is dominant over the shortness. When we consider other characters as Mendel's experiment, so in the Dihybrid Cross, the shape of the seed, that is wrinkled and round. So here round is dominant when compared to the wrinkled, and the shape of the seed is considered, so the color of the seed is considered, so yellow color is more dominant over the green color. So here any characters are determined by the genes. So here where the genes are present. So we have learned that so reproductory cells will be there in the reproductory parts. So in the pea plant, so we can see the reproductory parts, for example the pollens and ovules. See, pollens consist of a reproductory cell and ovule is consisting of reproductory cell. So here those reproductory cells will be having the genetic material inside that. So here a set of chromosomes will be there. So chromosomes will be there in pair. Suppose here in 2n number, here also 2n number. So one set from the parental plant and another set from the another parent. So both paternal and maternal chromosomes will be present in this reproductory cell. So this cell undergoes meiosis and produces 4 daughter cells where we call them as gametes. So those gametes will be having n number of chromosomes. Suppose if we consider this as the anther, so this anther cell produces 4 pollens. Suppose we consider this as the ovary, so the cell in the ovary produces 4 ovules, so which are again haploid in number, means half the amount of chromosomes will be present. So when both these are combined, then the original character of the parental plant is retained in the offspring. So these can be confirmed by the checkerboards of the Mendel's experiment. So here in the monohybrid cross, we got a checkerboard, so where those gametes are segregated. You can see how the gametes are segregated, and in the dihybrid cross we saw how these gametes are independently assorted. So by the knowledge of the Mendel's experiment, we confirm that all the characters of the organisms are determined by the genes. So on the basis of this, we are learning another concept, that is sex determination in human beings. See, what is this concept? So here we will be observing in society that always a female will be blamed as she is giving birth to the female child only. And we are learning how these characters are inherited from parents to offsprings. ಎಲ್ಲ ಗುಣಗಳು ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಯಿಂದ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ವರ್ಗಾಯಿಸಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತವೆ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಲಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಗುಣಗಳು ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಯಿಂದ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತವೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಕಲಿತಾ, ಈ ಗುಣಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕಂಡುಬರುತ್ತವೆ. ಈ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಸಸ್ಯಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮಾಣುಜೀವಿಗಳೇ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಣಗಳು ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆ ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಅಂದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಸ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ ಪೀ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್, ಈ ಬಟಾಣಿ ಸಸ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಣಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆ ಆಗುತ್ತವೆ ಎನ್ನುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದೇ ಮಾನವನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಈ ಗುಣಗಳ ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆ ಅಂದಾಗ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈ ಗುಣ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬದಲಿ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಹೇಗೆ ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ಹೌ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಸೆಲ್ಯುಲಾರ್ DNA is the information source for making proteins in a cell. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಒಂದು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಣಗಳಿವೆ ಎಂದಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನು ಆ ಜೀವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಯಾರಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಹಿಯರ್ ಎನಿ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಎನ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ಒಂದು ಜೀವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕೂದಲಿನ ರೂಪ ಹೇಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಕೂದಲು ಗುಂಗುರು ಕೂದಲಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ನೇರ ಕೂದಲಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಕೂದಲಿನ ಬಣ್ಣನೇ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಕಪ್ಪು ಕೂದಲಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಂದಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಕೂದಲು ಸಹ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಪ್ಪು ಬಣ್ಣದ ಕೂದಲಿಗೆ ಕಾರಣವಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವರ್ಣಕ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಕಪ್ಪಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಆ ವರ್ಣಕ ಆ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ಆ ಕೂದಲು ಕೆಂದು ಬಣ್ಣದ್ದಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಕೂದಲಿನ ರೀತಿ ಕಪ್ಪಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಂದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದಾಗ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್, ಆ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಚರ್ಮದ ಬಣ್ಣಕ್ಕೂ ಸಹ ಅನ್ವಯಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆಯನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋದರೆ, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಎತ್ತರವಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಗಿಡ್ಡವಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಗುಣ, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಎತ್ತರವಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಗಿಡ್ಡವಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಗುಣಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಕಾರಣವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂದರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್, ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್, ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯು ಎತ್ತರವಾಗಿರುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದೇ ಈ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನು ಕುಂಠಿತವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಎತ್ತರ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ, ಅವನು ಗಿಡ್ಡನಾಗಿರುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಎನ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮೈನ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಸಿಂಥೆಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್. So in our body, the cells synthesizes the proteins. So which cell organelle synthesizes the proteins? We know that ribosomes of the cell synthesizes the proteins. Here a protein like growth hormone or a pigment like melanin will be produced by the ribosomes of the cell. So if a ribosome is preparing a particular protein, so inside the cell the nucleus will be having the DNA. So this DNA will be having certain codes. A part of DNA is called gene. So this part of DNA consisting of the nitrogen bases in the form of codes, so is determining the synthesis of a particular protein. ಈ DNA ದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಈ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಬೇಸಸ್ಸು ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಗುಣ ಜೀವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತವಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ವಂಶವಾಹಿ ಅಥವಾ ಜೀನ್ ಕಾರ್ಯರೂಪಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಸೆಲ್ಯುಲಾರ್ DNA ಈಸ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸೆಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಸೆಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ DNA ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ನ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುವಂಥ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ನ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಆ DNA ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಮೂಲಕ. ಸೊ DNA ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ DNA ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ನ ಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಗುಣ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಬಲವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸಲ್ಪಡ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. So a part of DNA that provides information for one protein is called gene for that protein. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀನ್ ಅಥವಾ ವಂಶವಾಹಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ DNA. ಆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ DNA ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯರೂಪಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಆ ರೈಬೋಸೋಮ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನನ್ನು ತಯಾರಿಸಲು ನಿರ್ದೇಶನ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಗುಣವಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So how do germ cells make a single set of genes from a normal 2 copies of that all other cells in the body have? So ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ. ಸೊ ಹೇಗೆ ಒಂದು ಜರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಲನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಜರ್ಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಎಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಎಂದು ನಾವು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಓದಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟರಿ ಸೆಲ್ ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ಮೈಟಾಸಿಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮಿಯಾಸಿಸ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಹೇಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾವೀಗಾಗಲೇ ಓದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟರಿ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಯಾಸಿಸ್ ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ನ ಮೂಲಕ ಈ ಜರ್ಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್, ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಎಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಹೇಗೆ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾವೀಗಾಗಲೇ ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಾವು ಕಲಿತಿರುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಆದರೆ ಮೆಂಡಲ್ರವರು ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಪ್ರಯೋಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಮೆಂಡಲ್ರವರು ಒಂದು 19ನೇ ಶತಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಯೋಗಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಒಂದು 1870ರಿಂದ 1880 ಆ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಆಗಲೇ ಅವರು ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಸೊ ಆದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಪುರಾವೆಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಈಗ ಓದುತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರವನ್ನು ಅವರು 19ನೇ ಶತಮಾನದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿದರು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ದೃಢೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಂತೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಗುಣಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಪೀಳಿಗೆಯಿಂದ ಪೀಳಿಗೆಗೆ ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತವೆ ಎನ್ನುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಲಿಂಗ ನಿರ್ಧಾರವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಲಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವೊಂದು ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ನ ಅಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ವಿ ಲರ್ನ್ ದಟ್ characters are transferred from parents to offsprings, and for any character in the offspring, a set of chromosomes from the male and a set of chromosomes from the female is very important. So the both male and female has to contribute their chromosomes when they give rise to the children. So here this can be learned by this concept, that is sex determination in human beings. So before that, so here we will learn how these characters are transferred from parents to offsprings. Here each cell will have 2 copies of each chromosome, one each from male and female parents. See, suppose this is a reproductory cell in male. ಒಂದು ತಂದೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಜನನಾಂಗದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಕೋಶವ, ಹಾಗೆ ತಾಯಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಜನನಾಂಗದ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಕೋಶ. So these two are considered as reproductory cells. So in the reproductory cells, suppose in human beings 46 chromosomes are present. See these 46, how these are obtained? So this cell has received one copy of chromosomes from his father and one copy of chromosomes from his mother. So this male, so a father who is having a reproductory cell in his the genital organ is, here the 46 chromosomes are consisting of 23 plus 23 number of chromosomes. So here the female cell will also be having the similar type of phenomena. Here in mother, the reproductory cell in the mother will be again having 46 number of chromosomes. So where you can see 2 pairs of the chromosomes, 23 plus 23. Here what they say, each cell will have 2 copies of each chromosome, one each from male and female parents. So every germ cell will take 1 chromosome from each pair, and these will be either maternal or paternal origin. Here we can see an example of human being. From Mendel's experiment, we learned that in pea plant, so there will be male reproductory part and female reproductory part, where the reproductory cells present in them consist of the genetic materials which will be coding for particular characters of the plants. We learned that some of the characters like height of the plant, color of the seed, shape of the seed are all will be there in the genetic material according to the information present in the DNA. Those characters will be exhibited in those pea plants. Suppose here we consider this as the male reproductive cell and this is female reproductive cell. Here inside that it will consist of the genetic material will be having two sets of chromosomes. Here the information will be there in the DNA. So the part of DNA which carries the information for a particular character is considered as gene. So a character will be there in the DNA. So that is not sufficient. So the character is said to be not only present in the part of DNA. So this part of DNA is the part of this chromosome also. So any reproductive cell in it will be having a number of chromosomes. So each organism will be having a particular number of chromosomes. So for example, in the human beings, so there are 46 number of chromosomes. Here one set of chromosomes, that is 23 chromosomes, are coming from the maternal cell and another set of chromosome comes from the paternal cell. So here the male cell, so this is the reproductive cell present in the testis of the human being, and likewise this is the reproductive cell present in the female part of the human being, so that is ovary. So here also there will be two sets of chromosomes. Here what they say, each cell will have two copies of each chromosome, one each from male and female parents. So every germ cell will take one chromosome from each pair and these may be either maternal or paternal origin. So to know how the sex is determined in human beings, so we will learn that, so among the 46 chromosomes present in the male reproductive cell, here there will be 23 pairs of chromosomes. So 22 forms one group and another chromosome, so will be there which determines the sex of the baby. So the 46 chromosomes consist of 23 pairs. So among that, excluding 22 pairs, so there will be one pair. Here one chromosome from the maternal part and another chromosome from paternal set. So those two forms the special chromosomes which determines the sex. Here when the cell consisting of the 46 chromosomes, so it divides to form the gametes. Here the gametes are said to be the sperms. So sperms will be carrying 23 chromosomes. Here 22 will be forming a separate group and another one chromosome is said to be very special in determining the sex of the baby. Here what are the types of chromosomes present in the human beings that determine the sex? So this one pair, so it is considered as sex chromosome. Here in the male cell in human beings is said to be consisting of two types of chromosomes. So one chromosome may be having the X and another cell may be having the Y chromosome. So these are analogous chromosomes where we find two dissimilar types of chromosomes. So if a couple is giving birth to a baby, so how the sex of the baby is determined. So let us see how this is determined. So here you are seeing a male cell. So male reproductive cell consists of 46 number of chromosomes. Here the female reproductive cells present in the ovary also consist of 46 number of chromosomes. So in Here one chromosome from one parent, that is this cell has got received. So here male reproductive cell consists of 46 chromosomes and female cell consists of another 46 number of chromosomes. Here 23 pairs of chromosomes will be present. So in those 22 chromosomes forms a separate set and another one pair of chromosomes determines the sex of the baby. Here there will be two sets of chromosomes. So in those one single chromosome has been received from the both maternal and paternal cell. Here this male reproductive cell has received these chromosomes. So 23 chromosomes has been donated by the maternal side and another 23 chromosomes has been donated by the paternal side. So this cell has received two sets from both the parents. Here this reproductive cell undergoes meiotic cell division. So here among the 46, so only 23 chromosomes will be passed on to the daughter cells. Here these daughter cells are considered as gametes. So in the male reproductive cell, that is in the testis, so there will be sperm production. So these sperms will be having the 22 pairs of chromosomes. So another one chromosome. So this is very special. So these are 22 chromosomes and another one chromosome forms a very special where there are two types of chromosomes we can see in the male cell. So here one type of chromosome is said to be X and another type of chromosome is said to be Y. Here why these have been termed by two different alphabets, because these are not of the same kind. Here the X chromosome is looking normal, so here it looks like this one, whereas here Y chromosome is having a short nature. So here it does not look like a normal chromosome. So somewhat the chromatin part are little shorter. Whereas in the female reproductive cell, so again there are two sets of chromosomes. So 23 pairs of chromosomes are found. Here 22 pairs excluding them. So there will be one special set of chromosome where there are two similar kind of chromosomes, namely X chromosome. Here both the chromosomes which are received from the maternal and paternal side, so both are said to be the X chromosomes. So here the male reproductive cell gives rise to the sperms, where the sperms may be having this X chromosome or Y chromosome. Here the female reproductive cell gives rise to the ovules or eggs, so where egg is having only one type of chromosome, so all are said to be having X chromosome. So when the couple are giving birth to the baby, here the X chromosome and Y chromosome from the male. So here the sperms may be having X or Y, and in female the egg will be having only X chromosome. So upon crossing of these egg and sperm, so there will be combination like this. So one X chromosome may get fused with another X chromosome. So here the baby sex will be always female. So if the Y chromosome